Hi there, my name is Cynthia Wakil. I'm the Communication and Events Manager at Corporate Staffing Services. Today we're going to be addressing an issue of leadership, or rather what leaders go through. You go to a new organization and you're handed a new team to lead. So how do you deal with that? Thank you so much, Faminas, for joining me.
Thank you for having me as usual.
So now, what's the first thing you do when you're handed over a new team? You're in a new organization. You're told here is a team to lead. What do you do?
The first thing you should do is take time to understand the team. Don't be so excited. And you getting a new team can happen in two ways. Number one, you could join this an organization as a new member of staff, as a new manager, or you could have been promoted. Now, for the ones who are seasoned, who are experienced, they already know that you need to take time to gel, get to understand the team.
Yes.
But for the newly promoted, that's where you find some issues. They come more excited, and especially if it's within the same organization, they even know the gaps, they know the mistakes people are making, and they are very energetic to try and fix things. But that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
So if I were in their shoes, my advice to them is take time to understand the team, to understand the issues. I'm not saying you take a whole year, but for what will work for you is take enough time to understand the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do I go about assessing the team?
Well, if you are, the minute you become a reader, then you are like a parent.
Yeah.
And the work of a parent, any parent, even if you're not a parent right now, there's patience required. You have to pay close attention to the team.
Yes.
Sometimes you've got to even be involved with what they are doing. I'll give you the example. Let's say I've been hired as a sales manager. I shouldn't just be in the office giving instructions. I should go to the field with these people, get to understand who are they, what do they encounter, what challenges, and that way, now a week later or 2 weeks, I can be able to make an informed decision. I can be able to say, Cynthia is a slacker, she doesn't want to work, the clients are there, they're willing to do business with us. Or I can go to the field and say, wow, this salesperson is hardworking, they have the right attitude, the work ethic, but the product we have, it needs tweaking here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being hands-on, especially at the beginning, you're not being hands-on in a manner to micromanage people, but you are being hands-on to try and understand the situation. Yeah.
And it's about creating a relationship.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do I then connect to these different individuals with
Yeah.
different personalities? How do I create that relationship?
In fact, you brought out two very important things. Number one, that it's all about relationship. And number two is getting to understand the team dynamics. Because people, we are not all the same. We could be different genders, different age groups, different classes.
Yeah.
There are so many things. So when you take time and to engage the team one-on-one, then you get to understand, oh, Cindy, her working style is that don't expect her to come on the dot in the off at the reporting time, but she'll be working until 8 p.m. And the others who, well, they are narratizer, they prefer coming to work early, but at the when the clock hits this time to leave, they'll leave. And that's who they are, and they do a good job. So getting to understand who are these people, what motivates them, who are they as individuals.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, what are their goals? What are their aspirations? Because sometimes we think people are machines. But the reality is, for you as a leader to succeed, you need the input of others. And how can you be able to motivate? How can you be able to work with someone if you don't understand who they are and where they're coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you study these dynamics. Then you're here wondering, should I now set new rules or should I continue with what the previous manager had previously? So what do you do that?
Yes. So having understood what I would call the landscape, then it will be very easy to make an informed decision. Yeah. Because if I've sat with you 2, 3 weeks in there and I've looked at both sides of the story, I've looked at what you do, what you're supposed to be doing, the market or the operations, the task at hand, the job description, and you're not up to it,
Yeah.
then I can be able to have an adult discussion with you and tell you, Cynthia, hey, you need to improve, and even be able to give you a letter. Yeah. But imagine if I came day one, I don't understand the dynamics and I'm here, rushing things. You'll also not take it very well. Yeah. But if you've had time to spend together, I'm giving you feedback. Yes, you can say, this person understands me. They are maybe even spot on. Maybe I've been dropping the ball in one way or another. And
Yeah.
indeed, I now need to improve. Yeah. And that time, by the way, that's the time now to even set your expectation as a leader. So you can tell them, Team A, thank you so much for your support. For the last 2 months, I've been with you. This is what I've learned about you guys. This is the weaknesses I see in the department, and this is how I want us to work together. Who can argue with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine, compare that to you came, you were hired on a Monday, and Wednesday you are calling meeting, giving ultimatums.
Yeah.
It can't work.
Yeah, and leadership being a skill. Now, enabling these individuals to embrace change, the change that you come with after those 2 months, then I think it's maybe could be difficult sometimes.
I think two things. Number one is obviously change is never easy, even our own self. I mean, how many times are we told not to eat chapatis? And yet every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're eating chapatis or drinking. So change is not easy, whether it's you or whether it's the members of staff.
Yeah.
But now, what I always tell aspiring leaders or new managers or even people who've been practicing leadership is, if the team revolts, the problem is you. And leadership is a skill. So if you don't have this as a skill, then you need to find a solution. That is why trainings exist. That's why coaching exists. That's why mentorship exists. And a lot of companies, they get it wrong when it comes now to who do I make a leader. Why? Because a lot of us in the workplace, directors, even managers, we look at people who are good at their job. The fact that you're a good communication person, Cynthia, does not mean you need to be a leader, that you can lead a team.
Yeah.
It's a skill. You might be very good at what you do, but you don't care about people. You work alone. You're not a team player. So why would I go and put you to manage a team? And there are many people who are the average performers, but they're very good at motivating others. They are very good at getting the best out of people. I'm sure you've heard of organizations where this office messenger is able to have a rapport, is even able to sometimes even start strikes and influence. And this person really doesn't have a title. So that's a person who has leadership skills. Yeah. And if you look at the multinationals, the big company, they've already figured this. And that is why when they hire you, you'll hear of management training programs. They take you through a leadership program. So for SMEs, yes, if you see someone, they have potential, they're good at what they do, don't just stop there. Take them for a training. Recommend them. Come, send them to me, and we'll be able to train them on leadership so that they can be able to perfect. Otherwise, you lose this person because you now make them a leader. They'll not be able to perform in that new role, and they'll also drop in them being in sales or accounts or whatever job they were doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In short, leadership can be taught and it can be improved.
In fact, a lot of times, there's no one who's born a leader.
Yes.
It's the environment that makes us who we are.
Yeah.
So if someone has leadership skills, more or less it's because of the environment.
Yeah.
And the example I like giving is, look at our politicians, top politicians. Our current president, Uhuru. The reason why I believe he's a president is because the environment, if you come from a household of politicians, you're most likely to be a politician. Look at the former Prime Minister, Mr. Raila, or even him. Yeah. Just like also some communities in Kenya, they are known for being, in quotes, good business people. It's only that's the only thing they've known.
Yeah.
If if you are from the Asian or the Somali community, if I can be more specific, you'll find since independence, they couldn't get jobs in the government sector.
Yeah.
So what options were they left with? They were only left with business, to be
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. So you as a son or a daughter growing up, if that's the only thing you knew, you're bound to perfect.
Yeah. And what is your advice to a new manager, supervisor, or somebody who has been handed over a team to lead? And what's your advice?
Yes. My advice is twofold. Number one, just like what we've discussed, is for them to get to understand the team and before they make any major decisions. Number two is to realize that leadership is a skill. They don't have to struggle. So I don't want them to be in that position for 2 or 3 years, feeling overwhelmed. I coach many senior professionals on this. And some of them, they come to me when they are at ICU state. Some of them want to quit the job. They tell me the job is well paying, but I just don't know. I'm not making it. Yeah. So what I would recommend is a leadership training and mentorship, and that's something we offer. It's a discussion that we can be able to have. Yeah, and I've seen it make a whole lot of a difference, because they get to understand what is expected of me as a leader. Then what tools do I need? And then also, where do I go for help when I find challenges here and there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Faminas, for that insightful session.
Thank you for having me to discuss the leadership.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in tips on leadership, please subscribe on this channel. Thank you so much and see you next time.